If you don't get that angle right, your job is in the can. Miss Hayes,
I'll be with you in a second.
I just wanted to congratulate you on the outstanding job that you're doing, and I want my viewers to see just how tough you really are. Let's do a live interview in the court recesses, hmm?
Forget it. I'm not going to prejudice my case by discussing it with the media while it's still in progress.
Miss Hayes, we both know that you're coming up for re-election. Frankly,
I'm
you
not
could do with the coverage.
interested. I put my faith in the public, not in yellow journalists. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a case to win.
Give me that thing. Roll tape. Hello, this is Alicia Romer with an update on the Valentine Day murder trial. Emotions are running very high on the first day of what could prove to be a sensational human drama. The district attorney's probing has provoked frequent emotional outbursts from the defendant, Brandon Lujack, and his fiancée, Beth Raines. Rumor has it, however, that tension will scale new heights this afternoon as the Baroness von Halking, the former Alexandra Spaulding, is called to the witness stand to testify against her own son.
I really wish you wouldn't take the stand.
But I have to,
All right, fine. But just how much of your involvement in the sordid mess do you intend to reveal?
However much it takes to free Brandon. That means telling the truth. I'll tell it.
I'd take the fifth if I were you. Telling the truth could land you in jail with Lujack. You've already concealed evidence. And by using Clarence Bailey to spring Andy, you've opened yourself up to charges of tampering with justice, too.
Look at them. Thick as thieves, plotting and scheming against us.
How much you think she'll tell?
Everything if she thinks it'll clear Lujack. Damn. We better be prepared for the worst, Philip. Alexandra's ruthless. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if she was the one who set Andy up and pulled the trigger herself.
Can't stand us waiting. Where are they? Where are HB and Reva?
Vanessa, they're going to be here in just a little bit. Now, stay calm. Reva was barely holding herself together right before she left for Curacao. We have no way of knowing how either one of them are going to react to losing the company.
Look, we didn't lose this company. He stole it from us.
Vanessa, please.
I share your concern, Trish. I'll try to break the news to them as gently as possible.
No, you won't. I'll tell them myself. This is a family mess. Hi, Reva.
Welcome home.
Thank you. You look fabulous.
The new...
Oh, yeah.
Come here, Vanessa. I missed you too, honey.
Daddy.
Trish, darling.
Oh, Harlan B., would you look who's here on the welcoming committee, too? If it isn't Kyle Sampson himself.
Hey there, handsome. You made any heavy deals lately?
And now, Guiding Light. This portion is presented by...
Well, as a matter of fact...
You let Trish tell them.
Let Trish tell us what? Something happened while we were gone?
Daddy, Billy struck oil in the Alaskan tracks.
I knew the boy would deliver, and just in the nick of time, you see, Mr. Sampson. I told you you should not have passed on Billy's offer. My boy has a nose for oil and an instinct for winning.
All right, now this calls for a celebration, a big one. We're going to break out a case of champagne. We're going to clear off this table and we're going to do ourselves some dancing. Come on, you two. We'll make a great chorus line.
Would you just please, just be quiet just for a little bit?
Well, it's okay, honey. You don't have to dance, but I am going to. I mean, here we are, back safe and sound from a fabulous vacation. Billy just struck oil in the biggest gusher this side of whatever.
Reva, the news from Alaska isn't what it seems.
Billy? He wasn't hurt, was he?
No, Daddy. Billy's fine physically.
Well, if you got your health, you got everything, sweetie. Now, let's party.
Billy struck oil, but it was too late. It was after the deadline.
Oh, my God. What your daughter is trying to tell you, Mr. Lewis, is that Sampson Industries now controls Lewis Oil.
Don't tell me, Kyle put you on for him.
No.
Well, you gonna do a little more spying for him?
I'm not here to spy for Kyle Sampson, but somebody else is, Billy.
Girl, I want you out of here. I want you out of here now.
Billy, you've got to listen to me.
I don't want to listen to anything. You wise up. I know an act when I see one. You boys just take her out for a
Billy, listen to me.
Billy!
Darling, if I see you around here again, you're gonna go flying without a plane.
Ow! Come back! You don't listen to me. I came all the way up to this godforsaken icebox to talk to you.
You're wrong. I do not talk to traitors.
Okay, you don't trust me. That's okay. Get away! Kyle Sampson forced me to do it.
What'd he do? Make you a big offer you couldn't refuse?
No. He threatened me. He knows something about me.
Look, I'm not interested in hearing the history of your conspiracy.
My conspiracy?
Yeah, your conspiracy. You failed. Why don't you just trot that news back to Mr. Sampson?
Billy, I'm not telling him anything anymore.
Because I'm gonna trash Kyle Sampson. You be sure to tell him that.
I'm with you 100%.
Really?
Yeah, it's about time somebody taught that man a lesson.
Hey, Roxy, there's one thing I hate worse than a spy. Is a spy who changes her colors every time she finds out which side is the winning side.
Billy, I never stopped feeling like I was part of Lewis Oil.
Oh, well, now. This kind of loyalty, I think you might just sink us for sure.
From now on, nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to get in my way of my loyalty. I came up here to prove that. Billy, you've got to listen to what I've got to say.
No, I think I'd rather see you bobbing around out there in the snow. You guys, just making sure you get to the airport sometime.
Billy, I can't go to the airport. I can't go anywhere. I'm broke. I spent every dime I had to get here.
What is this, one last lie for the road? Come on, Roxy. I know you didn't spend your own money. I know you don't even have that kind of money. Kyle gave you the money.
You're right, I didn't spend my own money. I charged it to Lewis Oil.
You did what? I ought to beat you senseless. You mean you took money from Lewis Oil to come up here and sabotage one of its own operations? Yeah, that is a first.
I wasn't trying to mess up anything. I want you to meet your deadline, but you're never going to do it if you trust Chuck Hampton.
You heard, Mr. Lewis. Let's get her out of here. Come on.
Billy, please. I love the Lewis family. I risked my life coming up here. You've got to believe me. You can't trust Chuck Hampton. Don't let Kyle win, Billy.
We capped off Route 22, just like you said. We can start pumping crude as soon as you give the word. And I stationed men all across the access points on the rigs, just in case Sampson tries anything.
There's been a change in plans, Nick. I want all available men brought back to base camp.
Why?
There's been an accident. The ATC vehicle flipped over on the ice road. McGee is dead, and Roxy Shane's missing.
That little girl? She won't last more than a couple hours out there. She'll get frostbite, hypothermia.
That's exactly right. That's why we got to find her before it is too late. Come on, let's go.
Is it true, Mr. Wilson, that the defendant, Brandon Luvonacek, was a self-appointed president of your gang, the Galahads?
He was our leader, yeah.
And as such, he involved you and the other gang members in such activities as burglary, assault, vandalism, perhaps even a little drug trafficking.
No. We never did any drugs.
Well, you were a street gang, weren't you?
No.
Your Honor, I would like to remind the court that the witness has been granted immunity from prosecution for any crimes that might arise during direct testimony.
Hey, look, you don't have to do any favors for me, lady. I didn't commit any crimes. The Galahads was a social club.
A social club. Then perhaps you could tell the court about the arrest records of this, social club.
What about them?
Well, according to my files, various members of the Galahads were arrested, let's see, 27 times for vandalism, 13 times for burglary, and 7 times for assault with a deadly weapon. Now that's quite a record for a social club.
Mr. Wilson, how would you describe the defendant's attitude towards the other Galahads?
He was sort of a guide to us. He got Trimmer's father to stop beating up on him a bunch of times, and he got Pretty Boy off a smack. So we couldn't have been dealing in drugs, right?
Objection, Your Honor. That is pure speculation on the part of the witness.
Objection sustained. Mr. Wilson, please confine your comments to facts, not speculation.
Yes.
Now then, you were saying that Lujack acted as a guide to the Galahads.
Yeah. Yeah, he got Gina a job at Spaulding Enterprises when nobody would hire her. And he got me to go back to school.
So then you're saying that he had your best interests at heart?
Yeah. Objection. Defense is leading the witness.
Sustained.
Very well. Mr. Wilson, let's go back to the night of the murder. You were in the room at the time of the shootings, correct?
Yeah.
And did you ever admit to having a grudge against the murder victim, Andy Ferris?
Well, he hired the 2 dudes that beat me up at the garage.
Mm-hmm. And did you ever express a desire to get back at Mr. Ferris?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. No further questions.
Does the prosecution have any further questions on redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. Mr. Wilson, on the night of the murder, when the maid re-entered the room with the candelabra, what was the first thing you saw?
Lujack. He was kneeling next to the body.
And was he holding anything in his hand?
A gun.
A gun. No further questions.
You may step down, Mr. Wilson. Call your next witness, Miss Hayes.
Thank you, Detective Saunders. No further questions.
You may step down, Detective Saunders. The prosecution may call their next witness.
The prosecution calls Mrs. Raines.
Good luck, Mrs. Raines.
Thank you.
Please take the stand, Miss Raines. The bailiff will swear you in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Mrs. Raines, would you please tell the court what your relationship is to the defendant?
My daughter, Beth, is engaged to marry the defendant, Lujack.
I see. And, how long have you known him?
Oh, about a year.
Could you please speak up, Mrs. Raines?
I've known him about a year. I met him when I moved my daughter, Beth, into the Reardon boarding house where he was living.
Uh-huh. And what was your opinion of the defendant after that first meeting?
Oh, he seemed very rough. But I mean rough looking, not rough acting.
Are you nervous about testifying?
Waiting is just driving me crazy.
Yes. Could you repeat that question again? I'm sorry.
Get me out of here.
No, I really began to like him. You see, my washing machine blew up, and he was able to repair it. I mean, he was as though he was really a repairman. Oh, my goodness.
What's the problem back there? What's the matter?
Mrs. Spaulding, she's fainted.
Do we need a doctor?
No, just some fresh air, I think.
Get the thing rolling. This ought to be good.
You come near her with that microphone, and I swear I'll wrap it around your neck.
How dare you?
Romer, please, give back to the lair. Her son's on trial in there. Now, as a prospective mother myself, I can understand what that strain must be like.
I have your word you'll give me a complete update on her condition later?
By all means.
All right, turn it off.
Thank you for being so kind.
Alexandra, there's some water. Have some water.
Oh.
Careful. Careful.
Where am I?
You're in the corridor outside the courtroom. You fainted.
Suffering
Drink.
from a guilty conscience, Alexandra.
If anyone has reason for a guilty conscience,
It's you. We all know you're capable of lying, stealing, blackmail, and adultery. There's no reason for me to think you'd draw the line at murder.
Will both of you please keep your voices down? We are in public. If anyone could overhear you, especially Roma. Now, both of you insist on rehashing this. Do it later in private.
Oh, for once, Philip, you're showing a little judgment.
I hope you do when you take the stand. Exactly what do you plan on saying in there?
You're not going in, and you're not going on the stand. You're not well. I'm going in there right now, and I'm going to tell them you two
No, Warren, I have to testify. Brandon's future depends on it.
Alex, you'd reveal what's on that tape.
If I have to, I'll do whatever is necessary to protect my son, and you know it.
You're making a big mistake. Revealing me isn't going to save Lujack. It's just going to put another Spaulding in jail.
Oh, no, Philip. My testimony will prove that you and India had a stronger motive for wanting to kill Andy than Brandon did.
Maybe. But neither one of us confessed in front of a group of people. Neither one of us was caught standing over the body with a murder weapon in our hands.
As much as I hate to admit it, Alexandra, I'd follow Warren's advice and plead ill health. You're not going to gain anything by testifying. There is no way you can save Lujack. You're just going to bring this family to its knees.
And Alex, think of the Spauldings. Think of our loyalty, our honor, our duty.
Oh, please, spare me. Your pleas for family loyalty are a little late. As far as I'm concerned, you gave up all your rights as a Spaulding the day you married her. Now leave me alone. The only Spaulding I'm concerned about right now is Brandon. And on the off chance you still don't understand, I will do or say anything to free him.
Excuse me a minute. I'll call you back. You've taken over Lewis Oil?
Reva!
What, Harlan? Come on. The man is joking. I mean, really. Here is Mr. High Finance, Mr. International Affairs. Now, what in the world would he want with a little family business like Lewis Oil? I mean, this is a joke, silly.
Reva,
Kyle Sampson is
it
pulling
is
our
not
leg.
a joke, Reva.
Oh, Lord, I wish I had a camera. I mean, you should see all of your faces. Where is your sense of humor?
This isn't funny, Reva. We just lost everything. Reva, we just lost Lewis Oil.
I know, honey. I heard you the first time. Half of Springfield heard you. Lord, where is that champagne? I guess I'll just have to raid the bar until it gets here, right? Anybody else want something? I mean, bourbon and branch or anything?
Nobody wants a drink right now, Reva, darling.
Well, you know, it's a good thing because there's no wine. Oh, I haven't had this good a laugh since old Mr. Botkin used to sit on my daddy's front porch and tell tall tales about wildcatting on the panhandle.
Reva, this ain't no tall tale. I think Mr. Sampson is serious about everything he said.
Really?
I've never been more serious in my life.
I think it's time you and me had a little talk, Mr. Sampson.
Please call me Kyle.
Like I said, Mr. Sampson, why don't you join me in Billy's office?
Oh, it's not Billy's office anymore, HB. It's Kyle.
Oh, right, Kyle. Well, then I suggest we get a big nameplate and put it on his door, right? Something big and
both
brassy.
of you, would you get a hold of yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, look, everybody calm down.
What's wrong with you, woman?
Look, I'm sure once Mr. Sampson and I get all the facts straightened out, we can come to a mutually acceptable understanding. Mr. Sampson?
Poor HB. You might as well try and come to terms with a rattlesnake. That man ought to be drawn and quartered for what he's done to this
that's
family.
right, girls. Go for it. I mean, sharpen those claws and bear those... Quiet. Well, excuse me. Trish, she's getting a little touchy. I think maybe it might be time for another pill.
Reva,
You want some
stop
water?
it.
You want me to get you some water for that pill?
Reva, I'm not taking pills anymore, and I'm getting professional help. So just drop the subject now.
Sure. But all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Nessie together again.
Hell has gotten into you.
Nothing. I am fine. It's you two. You need a vacation, really. I suggest a few weeks in Curacao. Really, I mean, it'll do wonders for you. Make yourselves again. I mean, really, I mean, you cannot let a few minor business problems ruin an entire day.
Minor business problems? Are you out of your mind? Don't you realize that it's over? The good times are all over, Reva.
I don't think you quite understand
You know
what's
what?
happened to
You two are a lot of downers. I mean, who needs pills with the two of you around, really? Come on, smile. If you don't, I'm going back to Curacao. I mean, you're acting as if this is the end of the world. We all know that Harlan is down there right now fixing up all Billy's stupid problems.
Reva, it is not that simple.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Vanessa, I am so sorry. I mean, you are married to the man. He did fail so miserably with you and your little family. Although I know how you're feeling because I was married to Billy myself. I mean, he could never really make much of a decision without Harlan's help. He was never a businessman. I mean, if HB had been here, none of this ever would have happened. Now, where is the champagne, really?
Reva, Billy is a fine, fine businessman. He's one of the best. And Lewis Oil means more to him than his life. And if your little brain weren't the size of a pea, you'd realize that.
Can a girl speak her mind?
I'm going to go home, okay?
Yes, I think it's a good idea.
I'm going to call Daddy and see maybe there's something that you can do.
I wouldn't suggest going to your daddy. There's nothing he can do. You know what I do suggest, though? That you rush right home and you take care of that little Billy. Because God only knows that Kyle Sampson probably took an option out on him.
Reva! Reva, little Billy is just fine. He's just fine. He's home with Mrs. Stevens. Thank you.
Mrs. Stevens? You mean you were able to pay her to get her to come in? What, combat pay or something? I mean, why do you need a nurse if you don't need your vitamins anymore?
I said that's
enough. Come on, Trish. We all know that Vanessa is the pharmacist's best friend. She's a pill popper.
Reva, I told you. Maybe you weren't listening, but I told you. I'm not taking tranquilizers anymore.
Well, who can tell? I mean, you seem to be flying just as high as you were before I left town.
If you need me,
I
right?
will.
And you listen to me. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to be there for Billy when he gets back. And I'm going to make sure that he gets through this thing well. And why don't you just try and see if maybe you can do the same thing?
You know something, Trish? We have just witnessed here a genuine miracle, a transfiguration or formation. I mean, we have seen Vanessa Chamberlain transformed or figured into the perfect Lewis wife. She's finally learned how to toe that official company line.
Make yourself comfortable. I'll do the honors. Oh, I forgot. This is your office now.
No. I insist. We can both use a drink now.
That we could. Tell me, Sampson. Man to man, just what in the hell is going on around here?
Well, it's quite simple, actually. Billy staked everything on a noon deadline. His oil strike didn't come in until 7 minutes after noon, Springfield time. The cartel called in its loan, and Lewis Oil was the collateral.
Selling out to a stranger. Unbelievable, if you ask me. Those boys in the cartel are almost like family to me.
Almost. But not quite. With enough money, one could buy almost anything, even family. Face it, Harlan. That cartel sold you and Billy out to me. I'm in control now.
Okay. You made your point, young man. You're hard, shrewd, and tough. All it takes to be a winner. Now that you've proved yourself, let you and me sit down, negotiate ourselves a deal. No need to call the lawyers in on this one. Let you and me work this one out one-on-one.
You don't seem to understand. There is nothing left to negotiate.
Well, sure there is. My boy brought in that well. Late granted. But he brought it in. You can't take a man's life away for 7 minutes. It was just a small mistake.
Harlan, sooner or later, we all have to pay for our mistakes.
Damn, it's all my fault. I should have never insisted she go back to Springfield, but not McGee's dead. Roxy just banned it.
Maybe she thought she could get back to camp.
Well, then we should be able to find some footprints around here. Look.
No. The blizzard's covered him up.
And she should have known we would come looking for her, Nick. She just got to stay put.
What's that?
The lady's purse at Fennepeck over there. Let me see. Yeah, that's Roxy's all right. Look. Damn, what the hell she have to wander off for?
Mounting as one shocking revelation follows another on this, the first day of the Valentine's Day murder trial. The courtroom is packed with interested spectators, and armed guards block every entrance. The next witness to be called is the Baroness Alexandra Spaulding. The grief-stricken mother of the defendant was so overcome earlier that she collapsed in the middle of the courtroom. But as this reporter witnessed, she seemed to rally and insists upon taking the stand despite the objections of her personal physician. The question on everyone's lips: will the fragile Baroness survive the intense scrutiny of the court? And what can she possibly say to save her son?
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Thank you.
Baroness.
If you don't mind, I am divorced from the Baron, and I prefer to use my maiden name, Spaulding.
Certainly, Miss Spaulding. You are the defendant's mother, are you not?
Yes, Brandon is my son.
Your Honor, in view of the witness's relationship to the defendant, I ask that she be named a hostile witness.
I concur, Miss Hayes. Let the record show that Miss Alexandra Spaulding is judged a hostile witness to the state. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. In order for the court to fully understand the circumstances of this case, I feel it necessary for the defendant's earlier years to be explained in some detail. Miss Spaulding, can you tell us where and when the defendant was born and how you came to be separated? So when the maid re-entered the room with the candelabra, what was the first thing you saw?
My son.
Kneeling next to the dead body with a gun in his hand?
Objection, counsel is leading the witness.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase that question. Where was the defendant?
He was kneeling on the floor.
And did he have anything in his hand?
Yes, a gun.
Is this the gun in question, Miss Spaulding?
Yes.
And do you recognize this gun?
Well, it's my own gun. Brandon gave it to me some time back for protection.
Well, how can you be sure? Do you know that much about guns?
No, but it's mine.
And was this gun kept in your house?
Yes, in the top drawer of the study.
And did the defendant know where the gun was kept?
Yes.
And did he have access to the study during the night of the murder?
Well, of course, all my guests did. Most of them knew about the gun. I made no secret of it.
Let the record show that the witness has identified People's Exhibit A as the murder weapon. No more questions.
Your witness, Mr. Marler.
On the night of the murder, the victim, Andy Ferris, threatened to play a cassette tape, which he claimed would incriminate at least one of your guests. Did you or did you not ever have possession of that tape?
Damn, Roxy, where are you?
It's Lewis. The storm's getting worse. We can't stay out here.
No, look, I'm not going to leave. I got to find her.
Well, you can't.
Hey, I found some blood here earlier. Roxy could have been hurt in the accident.
We don't know that for sure. If that is blood, could be the driver. Sir, searching's useless. Storm's gotten so bad, the men are circling back up on the
We're not quitting this search till I say we're through. You get the men back out there and keep looking.
Mr. Lewis, the men can only do so much.
Damn, this storm!
Look, we gotta go back. Go we'll notify the Air Force. When this thing blows over, they'll send out some planes. They'll search the whole area.
Come on,
man.
Nick, the planes, it's gonna be too late for planes.
It could be too late now.
No! We're not talking like that. Now, Roxy's probably out here somewhere, and she's still surviving. We gotta find her. I'm telling you. She's out here.
Miss Spaulding, please answer the question. Did you or did you not ever have that tape in your possession?
Yes, I did.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness can't possibly be sure that her tape was the same tape that Mr. Ferris claimed to have had.
It looked the same, Your Honor. And when I went to check for my tape later that evening, it was missing from its hiding place.
Objection overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. How did you happen to have this tape in your possession in the first place?
I bought it from Mr. Ferris.
Mm-hmm. When was that?
Several days before the murder.
And how much did you pay for this tape?
$500,000 in cash.
Order. Order in the court, or I'll close these proceedings. Order, ladies and
Miss
gentlemen.
Spaulding, it sounds to me like you were being blackmailed.
No, not at all. I was trying to prevent the tape from being used for that very purpose.
Mm-hmm. Exactly why did you want this tape?
I wanted it so I could destroy it.
Destroy it? You paid $500,000 for something that you wanted to destroy?
Yes.
What made this tape so valuable? Or should I say, dangerous? Miss Spaulding, what was on that tape?
It was a recording of the deceased confessing his guilt.
His guilt to what?
The explosion at Brandon's club. Mr. Ferris said that he had hired 2 ex-convicts to crack one of the gas pipes at the garage and cause the explosion.
Order.
She's lying. She's lying. The witness is lying. She just purged herself in a court of law.
Now in 5-ounce liquid and tablets.
Order in the court. Order. I'm warning you, young lady. Listen to me. If you persist in these outbursts, I'll hold you in contempt of court.
No, Your Honor, please. What Beth is trying to say is that my mother's not telling everything she knows.
Then let me finish my statement, please, Brandon. It will explain everything. Andy Ferris was not the only voice on that tape. There was someone else.
Who?
The man who hired Ferris to sabotage Brandon's club.
And did you recognize the other voice?
Yes. It was my nephew, Philip Spaulding.
Order. I want order in this courtroom.
Miss Spaulding, what did your nephew say on this tape?
Philip said that he had paid Mr. Ferris to keep Brandon's club from opening. Apparently, Philip's wife, India, found out about his scheme and hired Ferris to make the incriminating tape. Then she used it to blackmail Philip into marrying her.
Objection. The witness is indulging in pure speculation.
Objection sustained. Strike Miss Spaulding's last statement from the record.
Miss Spaulding, in your opinion, do the contents of that tape constitute a motive for murder?
Definitely. The tape was very dangerous. That's why I wanted to destroy it. It was a serious threat to almost everyone in the room that night.
Even you?
Yes. I would have done anything. Even murder. To keep Andy Ferris from playing that tape.
We'll be looking for you when the weather breaks, Air Force. Keep us posted. This is Lewis Base Camp 1 out.
Those Air Force boys know what they're doing. If anyone can find them, they will. Look, you still want me to keep men posted?
I don't care anything about Samson right now. I just want to find Roxy.
Yeah, but Sampson's men,
Sampson's men can do whatever they want. He owns the company now. I started from nothing before. I can start from nothing again. But I can't replace Roxy Shane. She's one of a kind. And let's face it, she's my responsibility.
Look, I'm gonna keep men armed just in case, all right?
Okay.
Anything else you want me to do?
No. No, there's only one thing left to do. I gotta call back home and tell them what happened to Roxy.
This is Alicia Romer, live with a special news bulletin from the county courthouse. In a dramatic turn of events at the Valentine's Day murder trial, the defendant's mother, the Baroness Alexandra Spaulding, took the stand and pointed an accusing finger at Philip Spaulding, her nephew, and his wife, her former stepdaughter, India von Halkine. Miss Spaulding ripped away a sordid veil of secrecy to expose a scandal that threatens to shake the very foundations of the powerful Spaulding dynasty. The outcome of this trial may very well prove to have a devastating effect not only on the Spaulding family and Spaulding Enterprises, but also on the entire city of Springfield as well.
Your Honor, I have some questions for Miss Spaulding on redirect.
Proceed.
To recap what you've said, Miss Spaulding, you claim to have purchased the tape from the victim for $500,000.
That's correct.
And you also claim that this tape contained evidence that would exonerate your son from any responsibility for the explosion at the Galahad garage.
Yes?
And you also claim that this tape is the motive for the murder of Andy Ferris.
Yes, everything you've said is true.
It is also true, is it not, Miss Spaulding, that you were separated from your son for many, many years?
Yes?
I think it is clear to everyone here in this court that you love your son very, very much, and that you would do almost anything to keep from losing him again.
Yes?
Then you see my quandary, Miss Spaulding. You have already admitted that you're capable of murder, and I can't help but wonder if you're capable of perjury as well.
Objection, Your Honor. This is pure supposition on part of the state.
Oh, where is that champagne and caviar? This party is getting duller by the minute. Trish, look at that.
There isn't going to be any party, Reva. There isn't anything to celebrate. Don't you understand? Kyle Sampson has taken over Lewis Oil. We have lost everything.
Oh, ye of little faith. You saw how Harlan jumped right into action when he sensed the least bit of trouble. I mean, he's in there making everything better with Kyle Sampson. And as far as Vanessa is concerned, she will come around. Or down, whatever it may be. I mean, everything is going to be fine, Trish. Caviar.
I will get this, Reva. It could be important.
No. Please, just let me do my imitation of Roxy, okay? Louis Oral, how may I assist you?
Reva? What are you doing at the office? I thought you and HB were still on vacation.
No, honey. We got back here just in time to bail you out. Now, what is wrong now? You got another problem or something? Got stuff into another pickle? I mean, Billy, we cannot spend all of our time getting you out of jams. I mean, we have a party going on here.
Yeah, sounds great. You think you could get Trish off the dance floor just long enough to talk to me?
Oh, Billy, she is in the foul.
Give me that phone.
Why don't you just talk to me? I'm a lot more fun, right? I mean, you remember.
Reva, I need to talk to Trish. It's business.
All right, you old poop. It's for you. It's Billy.
Billy, what is it?
It's bad news.
Well, I don't think I can take any more of that right now.
Yeah, well, you better sit down. Roxy's disappeared.
How do you know about that? Rick Barry's been looking for her all over town.
Well, Roxy's been up here the last couple of days, and I don't know, she just popped up out of nowhere and helped us uncover Kyle's plan to sabotage the rig.
Well, then she hasn't disappeared. She's with you.
Oh, Trish, it's all my fault. I sent her back to Springfield. And she went out to the airstrip. The ATV that she was riding in crashed, and the driver was killed. And Roxy's gone. She just went off out in the blizzard somewhere.
My God.
Yeah. Had search crews looking for her, and the snow got so bad that as soon as it clears up, we're going to get out there again. But Well, I don't know. He looks bad. Everything looks bad. Reva, darling, what happened? What's wrong?
I can't go through any more of this. I can't.
Darling, what happened? What happened?
Roxy. It's me, Roxy's dead.
The continuing story, Guiding Light, is dedicated to the memory of Charita Bauer, whose portrayal of Bert Bauer has illuminated our lives for over 35 years. The spirit of Charita Bauer, her strength and her courage, her grand good humor, her passion for life, and her humanity have touched all of us. She has graced our lives at Guiding Light and will be with us always.